Developing listening skills. Listening, the first language arts skill learned, and it's developed before a child learns how to speak. Because language growth has been described as a receiving process followed by a sending process, a child's listening ability is important to speaking and future reading and writing success. Hearing is when a child listens, and listening and hearing are quite different. Hearing is a process involving nerves and muscles that reach adult efficiency by age 4 or 5. Listening is a learned behavior, a mental process that is concerned with hearing, attending, discriminating, understanding, and remembering, and it can be improved with practice. It affects social interaction and perhaps one's success in life. A quality early childhood program sharpens a child's listening and offers a variety of experiences. Listening is not left to chance, it is planned. Research on listening is limited. However, a study in 1950 and 1960 showed that listening instruction led to measurable gains in listening comprehension. Active involvement following listening activities may help even more. There are different types of listening. There's appreciative listening, which finds pleasure in sound, such as listening to music. There's purposeful listening, which is listening to following directions and giving responses. Discriminative listening, which is listening for discrimination in sound and pitch. This is related to phonics. Creative listening, thoughts are expressed spontaneously and freely through words or actions or both. And critical listening, the child understands, evaluates, makes decisions, and formulates opinions. Toddler listening starts with rhymes and repetitions. That's what's recommended for toddlers. Connecting noises and sounds with toys and objects encourage the child to imitate and show that joy and sound making go hand in hand. Purposeful listening activities. The intent of purposeful listening activities is to increase the child's ability to follow directions and instructions, perform tasks, and respond appropriately in some fashion. Tell the child what you're going to tell them to do. Then tell the child, and then tell the child what you told him. So for example, say, I'm going to give you an envelope and tell you where to take it. Then you take the envelope and give it to the child and say, take the envelope to the cook and come back to the classroom. And then when the child does that, comes back, say, you took the envelope to the cook and came back to the classroom, thank you. Appreciative listening falls in the category of background music, sometimes chanting, sometimes it builds moods, it touches emotions, and adds another dimension to experience. Traditional songs such as Old MacDonald, Eensy Weensy Spider, some of those things help children learn to listen. Some learning features associated with familiar songs are vocabulary, predictability, storyline and sequence, repetition, cultural literacy, rhythm and beat. And critical listening activities requires children to listen and to find a solution. A problem is discussed and a solution offered and evaluated. A probable outcome or guess is prompted. I wonder what would happen if I did this. A real and make-believe feature is pinpointed, telling a story and asking what part of that could be real and what part is only make-believe. A personal preference or dislike is discussed. A group vote and review, or maybe the child could find an error in some type of story. So you tell a story and then tell a part that's not real. Feelings of others are predicted and inconsistencies are discovered. In discriminative listening activities, they're used to discern whether a sound or a pattern is the same or different. One uses discriminative listening skills, and this skill is necessary when a child attempts to decode words in early reading. An activity might be listening detective, where a teacher says a familiar line in a story or song and changes a word to see if the child can detect the change. For example, the story says the wolf huffed and puffed and blew the tree down. So what if you said the pig huffed and puffed and blew the tree down, and see if the children catch on and catch that you changed wolf to pig. In teacher skills, two factors may decrease teachers' ability to listen and model listening behavior. They may not have experienced teachers in their own schooling, including professors, who listen with care and who value the child's questioning. Or the teachers are so busy imparting information that they miss the profound question and comments of young children. This type of interactive style teaching, teaching children to sit passively and withdraw, doesn't help draw them out. And it teaches most vividly what the teachers least suspect that they have transmitted. Giving instructions. Be simple and clear. Explain what comes first, what's next, and what's last. Make eye contact. Speak clearly. Make sure that you have attention before speaking. Sometimes you need to have a silent pause or a familiar sound that the children know that that's when they're supposed to pay attention. I used to have a little bell that I rang, just a little bike bell, and it just made a slight ding noise. It was enough of a different sound that the children knew that they stopped what they're doing, that I needed to talk to them. Rewarded behavior is usually repeated and becomes a habit. So teachers should consistently notice correct listening behavior and comment favorably to the children. Some signs of good listening are looking towards a speaker's face, filtering out distractions, concentrating on the speaker's message, repeating back what the speaker said, little or infrequent interruptions, asking clarifying questions that make sense. They seem to think about what has been said to them. The teacher's skills, a teacher plans and reflects. So ask yourself, was the child listening? How do I, as a teacher, develop listening habits in children? Can I judge when I've captured a child's attention? Can I assess which children listen well and which ones listen poorly? A skillful teacher will complete the learning activity before the group becomes restless. Other opportunities to teach listening are speak, listen group times, listening centers, recorded media using recording of the child, and music. Phonological awareness, believed to be the predictive of a child's ease in learning to read. These skills begin with rhyming, segmenting, morphemes, those are small parts of words, syllables, using discriminative critical listening, phonemic contrasting, phonemic games, emphasizing beginning letter sounds and words, commenting on alphabet letter sounds, engaging in other such sound letter activities. Children will first hear a sentence and then words and then syllables and then individual sounds, morphemes. Phonological awareness typically begins around age 3 and gradually improves over many years.